They are doing it now as a part of their human resource development strategy. That's a way for them to upskill and to recruit new workers. And in the airport of Air, sounds strange, they have just done it without any funding. They just say, this is a good investment. Everybody else is talking about labor market money and social fund and so on. No, we do it our own money. It's a good investment. At least if we look upon 3 to 5 year range. Then I take you to Sicily. I already mentioned it. Because in Sicily, you had the first wave of job rotation, which was mainly hotels and restaurants. The next was also in the tourist sector, but also in the business service. Oh, sorry, that was not next, but never mind. And business service, and I forgot also to put the retail sector in. It was not a lot, but the idea was to see in a region like Sicily, how would job rotation help to improve the local businesses? And we still haven't got an answer how much it helped. So I can't tell you that. I can just say that they are an example of someone thinking in local and regional economy. In Czech Republic, they have especially tried to implement job rotation in the health sector. You know, it's a sector under very much pressure. Why? Well, because they are very much needed when everybody else go down with stress and back pain and so on, and it's hard to get nurses, at least in Northern Europe and so on, so on, so on. So if we want to avoid that, and they do, we could work with job rotation there. And the last, back to Denmark again. I can't really do it without. And one interesting fact was that suddenly the whole IT sector in Denmark, I say whole Denmark, I mean Copenhagen, and to some part also saw the idea that with job rotation you could improve new IT skills. And they had the problem. You know, we had employers coming and knocking our doors. Shh, don't say it too loud. But I don't know really how the new IT works. And all my employees think that I know everything about it. So can you make a very secret course so nobody knows that I'm not so good at IT? And we say, yeah, come in, but we have a better idea for you. Because if you use job rotation, then you can take your time for IT upskilling and you can recruit, because at that time, IT sector was really huge. It went down after some years. Everybody knows about that, the .com catastrophe. But now it's up again. And this is a sector which is renewed so quickly that it's hard to follow, even for the managers. Sorry if there's any manager, but it's really an open question, isn't it? Next. One more example of a sectoral job rotation is Nord-Pas-de-Calais in France. They have made more than 100 projects, so they are ahead of Scotland. But their strategy was a little different, because not every, but I think in about 11 smaller and bigger towns in northern France, Nord-Pas-de-Calais, in Lille and so on, Arras and Cambrai, they made employers organizing called FACE, F-A-C-E, FACE. And what they were doing was that they were trying to make incentives for upskilling and for getting long-term employed into the companies. And they used job rotation very much. So that was, and they were dealing with social questions. It was employers sitting down in an area and saying, we want to do something for youth unemployment. The rate is too high, 28% of all young people unemployed. That is not good, because that put a shadow on the whole development of the region. We use job rotation for that. We upskill the young. We put people on further education and training, and then the young people come in and do the substitute. They have, also in France, there was another example which not really, I must say, it never really had a breakthrough. But the idea was so brilliant that I just have to tell you about it. You know that the automobile repair branch, what is that? That is very small garages 10 persons working there. And what do they have? They have the same problem us with our cars. What car do you have, Nikos?
Peugeot.
Okay. And how much electronic is there in that?
In the beginning it was every 1 month or 2, but now it's better.
Okay.
I change everything.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? They have put so much electronic in our cars that we can't find out of it ourselves. And the problem is, the people of the garage can't find out themselves. So what do? They have to do continuous further training to keep ahead with the development. And for that, this big plan was made, a feasibility study for job rotation in that specific sector. Now I have stolen something from Slovenia. I say thank you and excuse me. Because Slovenia is now in the same situation as every EU member state has been when it comes to job rotation. That there are some barriers, that we don't really understand the job rotation system when we haven't done it. First, when we have gone through projects, we know how it works and we know all the problems. There's no legislation framework which supports it. There's a lack of proper infrastructure. It means that the regional network, the structural policy is not made for supporting job rotation. We don't know how to apply the system. Well, the good news I heard just this morning was that now they really want to improve and engineer job rotation in Slovenia, and congratulations with that. But now they really have to answer all that questions, right?
There are a lot of questions that they answer.
Yeah, exactly. And that, and then again, we have to remember we are always working with two areas. One is unemployment, that's the labor market policy, and one is the employees, training policies, or structural policies, or human resource development side. And that two sides don't normally talk together. You have job centers who do for the unemployed, and then you have business organizations who do for everybody else. And do they talk together normally? No. And they don't use the same words for anything, and they don't have the same solutions for anything. So it's a really hard work to get the two sides to talk together and find solutions. And then, of course, there are financial obstacles. I think that is a really fair way to describe the beginning of job rotation in a state. What can we do about it? Nikos?
Get funding?
That's one solution. Let's see what we have. Well, we have, together with a lot of partners, we have made some studies to find out what is the main support needed for job rotation. And this is a list which we don't, I'm happy to say, you don't have to do all that before you can make job rotation. Some of it will change over time. Maybe job rotation will even help you to change this. Because the problem is that in many European member states, we don't have a legal right for further training and free training. We don't have collective agreement, for example, like in France, where they have this educational pools, which gives every individual employee a right for training. The problem is just that they can't use that for job rotation because of other. Maybe the problem is also if you ask a substitute to go in and work for what is equivalent to the unemployment benefit or the social welfare or whatever. That's not a strong incentive. You can tell the person, well, if you do this, then the chance to get a job afterwards is good. But it would be better if you earn some more when you work as substitute. The best thing is if you get a normal salary, that there's no difference between you and the other employees.